And I do. I want us to go ahead and take a comfortable seat this morning. Our practice is about, again, trying to quiet the Vata constitution, the constitution of, think, like you can't stop. Your mind is just going really fast all the time. This, that, the other thing, all the questioning, all the wondering, the wind outside of the body, the wind inside the body, just the dryness, all of those pieces that are part of Vata. So it requires, in regards to taking the approach through yoga, that some of our poses are going to be held a bit longer, that we're building strength, especially if you have a constitution that is more prone to Vata, or it's even if it's not the most predominant dosha for you, but it's if you take the dosha quiz, it scores in there pretty high, then you do want to really nurture strength right now. Strength, quiet, steady. Because in this, if you already have Vata as part of your constitution, then you will be more apt to be like a branch that breaks and snaps, more quick to either be angry or a quicker response. So, sometimes for some of us, it's interesting, like we may find ourselves really gravitating towards people that are the opposite, right? Someone who is grounded and, not like on the go all the time, because that helps bring us, that it nurtures this other part of us. So it's kind of interesting when you look at who you spend time with and what their constitution is and what yours is. It's kind of interesting. But anyway, that's what's going to be guiding our practice this morning. Oh, I should have put up one of the photos I took this weekend. I'll try to do that this week, because I went up to Mount Adams and I took a hike up Killing Creek to what's called High Camp. And the colors, the fall colors, were so good, so red, so yellow, so contrasting. Even like a dead branch would be so white against like the other colors. I'll try to post some of those up for you for maybe Wednesday. But at any rate, let's go ahead and take a comfortable seat. And you're welcome to close your eyes or cast your gaze down. And find the surface beneath you. Notice how your body connects to the ground. Can you notice how the sit bone on the right and the skin meet the surface beneath you? And then just notice how the left sit bone and the flesh at the left side of your body also meets that surface. And then lengthening your spine up towards the sky. And dropping your attention down into the space of your heart. And your physical heart with its chambers, and then all of the blood vessels surrounding the heart. And then the vessels that come into the heart and out of your heart and into the matrix of tubes and vessels that go through your whole being, is delivering nutrients, white blood cells, red blood cells, all the various oxygen that's coming through your body, all the way through your limbs to your organs, your whole being. Nourished by the heart and nourished by your breathing. So as you drop into the presence of your breath and feeling the lungs expanding in your rib cage, or as Gil Hedley would say in the dissection that I did with him, the wings of the heart, the lungs. So dropping into your Ujjayi breath, and in the season of Vata, you want the Ujjayi to be gentle, not loud, which can disturb that grounded quiet you're looking for. The breath can be steady. We can still practice a 1-to-1 ratio of the Ujjayi, the inhale to the exhale. So you can still hear your Ujjayi with your inner ear. But if there was someone near you, a few feet away, maybe they wouldn't hear it except very faintly. So how do you do that sort of Ujjayi breath? And in that spirit of steadiness, I'm going to read to you Thich Nhat Hanh, the 9-point meditation. May I be happy, peaceful, and light in body, mind, and spirit. May I be safe and free from accident and injury. May I be free from anger, anxiety, fear, worries, and other unwholesome mental states. May I be free from attachments and aversions, but not fall into indifference. May I learn to look at myself more deeply so I can understand myself more clearly with eyes of love and understanding. And may I identify and touch the seeds of joy and happiness within myself. May I identify and see the sources of suffering in myself. May I nourish myself with joy and happiness every day. May I be fresh, solid, and free. So releasing any control on your breath. Join your hands in Anjali Mudra. And you're welcome to join me as I sing Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu. So we're singing the chant together. Together may we be protected. Together may we be nourished. May our practice bring us great energy. And may it illuminate the darkness. And may we not hate or dispel one another. So taking a deep inhale. Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Savidyam Karavamai Tejasvinavari Tamastu my Vibhyashavai. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And with your next exhale, you can bow your head towards your heart. Release your hands. Lift your gaze. So maybe as I was reading the points that Thich Nhat Hanh, as I mentioned those, there might have been one that really struck you, that really, was like, if I was going to pick one of those, which one would I pick? But at any rate, throughout our practice today, I'll just use them here and there, like planting seeds, right? Because even in the fall, we still put in the cover crop. We still plant the cover crop in order to be, so that in the spring, when we want to grow and cultivate again, we can put that cover crop in and nourish the soil. And then we put in, we lay down the seeds for the food, and hopefully we have a good crop. So our practice now through, as we prepare for winter, as we come into the winter and into, this season, this prepares us as well for as we move to the next year. So we can always be thinking, how am I, cultivating my presence now? And how does that keep moving for me? All right. So I want to do an upper back opener just to begin class this morning. So if you'll go ahead and grab two of your blocks. Let me spotlight this video so it'll show up better. Sorry, I forgot to do that before. So you're going to need 2 blocks end to end. And a blanket or 2 on top. So my 2 blocks end to end. And then I'm going to take one of my blankets. I'm going to fold it in half lengthwise. Put that over my blocks. I like the roll pin to be away from me. I'm going to put another blanket on top of that. Okay, sit in front of that. And both feet on the ground. I like to take my forearms back to kind of stabilize my blankets. Hands behind the head, elbows toward each other. Find your breath again. And as you exhale, without rushing, because there's no hurry, and I notice, sometimes as I come back, I notice, I'm just kind of noticing like, where does this, where do I feel this in my upper back? Can you breathe into the back body, into your back ribs? And you might have the hands behind the head the whole time. You might find, as you bring your head back, the support of my blankets hits right below the base of my skull. But we all have a different history. We are all different. We are all unique. So we want to nurture that uniqueness. For some of you, you'll be able to let go of the head. It'll feel supported enough. And you can reach the arms overhead and take them a little wider. I like to take them palms to the sky and almost as wide as my yoga mat. Just a brief opening of the upper back, the heart, the lifting of the top of your breastbone, the rolling of ribs 1 and 2 up towards the collarbones and above. Just for a moment, you could say to yourself, may I be happy, peaceful, and light in body, mind, and spirit. And then take your hands, if they're overhead, bring them back behind your head, your elbows toward each other. Lift the chin toward your chest. And then we'll straighten one leg, reach the arms forward. I like to then straighten my other leg and use the abdominals to come up to sitting. Now let's move that little stack out of the way. Slide that off your mat and lie down on your back. I'm going to do just a little work with your abdominals. So we'll come down on the mat. If you need a pillow under the head, you can add that. And let's inhale and take the right leg straight up. Arms can be out to the sides or out at a 45. Press down into the left foot on the ground. So notice when you press into your left heel, you'll feel a greater connection to the back of your body to the ground. See, do you feel that? When you press into the foot on the floor, the back body is a little more connected. Can you keep that connection? Can you notice which part of the pelvis touches the ground? And then with your next exhale, begin to lower your lifted leg to be even with the 2 thighs parallel. Are you still pressing into the foot on the floor? Do you still have the same connection? So I'm going to try to move the lifted leg, your right one, separate than the pelvis. And then with the next exhale, let's lower another third of the way. Pause. And you might lower a little more. Pressing into the heel still, and then bring the knee to the chest of that right leg, back up to the sky. Exhale, make the thighs parallel. Your next exhale, lower the leg part way, only as far as you can keep the pelvis from tilting like pubic bone towards the ground. Keep the pubic bone lifted up. You might lower a little more. And then bring the knee to the chest, and one more time. The exhale, the thighs become parallel, and there, I press into my foot on the ground, my heel. Exhale, lower the leg another distance. Is my pubic bone still in the same place? I might lower more, or I might just do another breath at that one spot. And then we bring the knee up, and we'll put the foot on the ground. So now both feet are on the floor. Deep breath. And then the second side we'll take. So this is your left leg straight up, right foot on the ground. Press into the right foot. Exhale, lower the left leg, parallel, both thighs. The next exhale, again, I don't want the low back to arch. I'm not trying to flatten the belly to the ground. The next exhale, either stay here or lower again. And then let's bring knee to the chest, straight up to the sky. Exhale, lowering part way. So I could spend the next 2 breaths in this position, just working on the tone in the abdominal area. If I can keep my leg moving, but my pelvis not moving, I can lower a bit farther. Maybe I spend the next breath here, or I might go a little lower. Up, knee to chest, and I think this is the last one. I move on the exhale. I pause on the inhale. Exhale. And this all depends on my ability to stay steady. And then we'll bring left knee up, and we'll put both feet on the floor. Pause, breathing. May I be safe and free from accident and worry. Okay, roll over to one side. Use your arms, push yourself up, and sitting one more time on the ground. Can you take the hands and go behind the thighs, right below the knees? And then lean back enough so the toes float up from the ground. Relax the shoulders. Maybe lift the lower legs parallel with the floor. Maybe the arms come out alongside the legs. And maybe some of you, the legs go straight. Bend the knees, and then we're going to roll over to one side, and we're going to take downward facing dog. There you are, downward facing dog. Hopefully, or you could be doing puppy pose, depending on the elbows and the knees. Downward facing dog, the resting pose of downward facing dog. So you're actively reaching from the shoulder blades to the hands. May I be free from anger, anxiety, fear, worries. And then we're going to inhale, plank. And then with your next exhale, let's lower the knees. And let's get your blocks out from under your blankets there. So we'll just have the blocks are there. We could, and you're welcome to use the blocks for downward dog if you like. We're going to go back up into downward facing dog. Either your hands can be on your blocks or they could be on the ground. We'll come back to downward facing dog. So for a moment, deep inhale, and with the next exhale, step the right foot forward. I could bring my blocks in if I wasn't using them. They're framing my front foot. And as I work with this transition from a low lunge to a high lunge, so reaching down, back, and inhale upright. Inhale the arms wide. Exhale, bow forward. Step back, downward facing dog. Again, hands can be either on blocks or they might be on the ground. May I be free from attachment, aversion, but not be indifferent. And your next exhale, let's step the left foot forward. Balancing the weight in the hips. Reaching all the way back into the right inner heel and coming upright. We'll inhale the arms out. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, step forward. And exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway. And exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands in front of the heart. Inhale, lift both arms. Exhale to chair pose, Uttanasana. Weight is back in the heels. Abdominal organs back towards the spine, so there's that tone in the belly. Another deep inhale, and as you exhale, bow forward. Inhale, straighten both legs. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway. And exhale, right foot back. So this time we're going to go into the upright lunge. And then we're going to come down into a revolved Parshva Kanasana, revolved lunge. So let's go ahead and bring the right block a little closer. It doesn't have to be It could be like the block width away from the left foot. It doesn't have to be right close to it. And here we go into that transition again. Reaching down, reaching back. Inhale upright. Can you feel the lift in the heart? Like when you were up and over the blocks. Let's inhale the arms out. Exhale as you bow forward. Left hand on the hip. Right hand comes down to the block. So you're going to stay strongly reaching through the right leg. Still weight balanced in the hips. And exhale, you're turning to the left. So reaching straight back to the right inner heel. You might take the left arm, drop it down, and bring it up. Exhale, turn back towards the ground. Move that right block. Let's inhale, step forward. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, let's step left foot back. So I might move the left block to be a few inches away from the right foot. We're going to come upright to start. So when you're ready, inhale, upright lunge. Inhale the arms wide. As you bow, take the right hand to the hip and the left hand down to your block. So steady with the back leg from the sit bone all the way back as you twist toward the right. Weight is balanced in the hips. You might even, Jackie, you might take the left foot back 1 or 2 inches. And then just bend the front knee just a little bit more deeply. And so the back leg, the inner thigh is strong. On the back leg, all the way to the inner heel. Yeah. You might add the arm where the right arm is alongside the right ear, like side angle, palm even facing, behind you or towards the ground. Great, good. And then that's it, Michael, good job with the back leg there. And then we're gonna turn back towards the ground and step back, downward facing dog. Downward dog, or you could be in puppy pose. May I learn to look at myself more deeply, to understand myself more clearly, with eyes of love and understanding. All right, and then we'll inhale deeply, exhale, we're gonna step forward. We are Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, bend both knees. Inhale, Uttanasana, chair pose, lift both arms. Inhale, straighten both legs. Exhale, hands in front of the heart. And then we'll release both arms. And let's take a wide stance on your mat, going toward your right. Right foot out, left foot in. We're headed towards warrior 2. So let's inhale the arms out. Exhale, warrior two. The gaze can go over the front fingers. Am I still connected? Do I still feel grounded in the back foot, in the back heel? Are you still able and reaching from the front of the chest on the left, all the way to the left fingers? Then let's relax the back arm, turn the front palm skyward and inhale, rising. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, lift both arms up, straighten the front leg, and then exhale, release the arms. Let's turn the feet the other way. Left foot out, right foot in. When you're ready, with your inhale, take the arms out. And exhale, warrior two. Feeling into the strength of the legs here. And I'm trying to stay centered, right? Just like I am in my life. I'm not trying to go too far into the future. If I was reaching really far with my forward arm, I'm just trying to stay grounded. Finding the ground, connecting to the earth, and building my strength. The steadiness. We'll release the back arm. Inhale, rising warrior. Your exhale, go back to warrior two. And then we'll inhale, lift both arms. Straighten the front leg, make the feet parallel. Release the hands down to the hips. Inhale, lift through the top of the breastbone. And exhale, wide-legged forward fold. We're bowing down. If you need your blocks, bring them around. And let's take a twist. Bring the right hand into the space between the two hands. Right hand, left hand up on the hip. I'm sorry, I'm going to get all confused. Reach down into the hand on the ground, twisting. Exhale, come back to center. Switch hands. Right hand up on the hip. Inhale deeply. Exhale, turning. Exhale, back to center. Walk the hands into that space somewhere between the feet, depending on your hamstrings. Release the head. And then we'll walk the hands back out. Let's shift them up to your hips. And inhale, come up. Exhale, step the feet together. Mountain pose. Eyes can be closed. Noticing where the weight is falling into your footprints, dropping the weight into the heels. May I learn to look at myself more deeply so I can understand myself more clearly with eyes of love and understanding. All right, and then we'll let that go. Okay, let's take one more just side body opener. One more, we did a revolved Parshva Kanasana. We're gonna do regular side ankle. So we'll take a block or two, whatever you need. You're gonna go to your left first this time. My right, your left. I'll mirror you. We'll take a block at your left outer shin. So when you're ready, inhale the arms out wide. And exhale, Parshva Kanasana, side ankle pose. Where's the base of your skull? Is the head dropping forward? Can you find the base of the skull? Draw it back. As you reach from the crest of the pelvis to the outer heel of that back leg. Let's inhale, come up. Spin the feet, move your prop. Inhale when you're ready. And exhale, Parshva Kanasana. Opening through the side body. Now, some of us have a tendency to take a little back bend here. So how do you support yourself? How do you use the abdominals to support the lumbar? So you're not taking too deep of a back bend with that twist. And then with your next inhale, come all the way up. Step the feet back together. Inhale, lift both arms. Exhale, chair pose. So in chair, the knees are as wide as the ankles. The weight more in the heels than the toes. And then we're going to inhale, straighten both legs. And exhale, hands in front of the heart. Release the arms. Can we take, it's going to be something like, I forget the Sanskrit for this, but in a moment, you're going to bow forward in a minute. And when you do, you've got your blocks, and they can be on any height at all. They could be down low, they could be no blocks at all because you're bowing forward, but I want the legs to be straight. And then, so in a moment, you'll shift the weight. We'll probably have you stand on the right leg first, and you're gonna lift the left. And I'm gonna reach out the ball of the lifted leg. Okay, and we'll take both sides. So, got my blocks, let's come to standing. I want, what I'm wanting you to find with this one is just the standing leg is straight, is steady and strong. So that as you lift that left leg, your left leg up behind you, you're lengthening all the way out the ball of the foot. So there's a lot of strength in both legs. All right, so let's inhale, lift both arms. And exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. We'll inhale halfway. Exhale, bow. You can have hands on blocks. Shift the weight to the right. And with your inhale, lift your left leg. So you reach into the standing leg. And then I'll lower that leg. Bowing forward over both legs. And oh my gosh, I love feeling the heat. The heat, which is the blood, as it comes into my legs. All right. Second side. So shifting the weight toward the left. Reach down into the left leg and pick up the right. Exhale, lower the right leg. Inhale halfway. And exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. And exhale, hands back in front of the heart. And then release both arms. Okay. So from there, let's take warrior three. So from that strength of both legs. So in a moment, you'll do the right leg. And in regards to the arms for this, now there's a few different ways. One, you could have a chair or a bench or something to support the arms. So that's completely fine. Some of you will probably be happy just taking the arms out and picking up the back leg. Bowing. And staying here. Some of you could take maybe the cross crawl. And then we'll come up. Okay? You ready? So we're going to stand on the right leg first. So as you do, let's just take the left toes back. Inhale, we can take the arms wide. And exhale, pick up the back leg. And lift the back leg as you bow forward in warrior three. You have to reach aggressively through the ball of the back foot. Yeah. Reaching through that back leg. Good. That's it, Annette. Great. You might take a cross crawl, which would be right arm forward, left arm back. Take your time. Take your time. And we'll inhale, come back up. And just stand for a moment in Tadasana, in mountain pose, so you can really feel the heat. And just noticing what, the right side of the body feels like, what the left side is like. And then we're going to take second side. So if I step right toes back, inhale the arms wide, and exhale. Pick up the back leg. And begin really reaching out the ball of the back foot. we'll inhale, come up. Take a moment. Just feeling the results from that effort. Great. All right. So now let's take your blocks. We're going to go to Malasana or Garland pose. So if you take 2 blocks and you stack them like that. Let me see if I can make this so I can see what I'm doing. So you can see, okay. And let me show you this. With the strap, so when I come down, I'm gonna, if when I sit on these blocks, my heels, if my heels aren't touching the ground, then I'll probably take something. My heels do touch, but if they did not touch, then I might take a blanket or a little wedge or something that's gonna go up and underneath my heels, because I want my heels to be grounded. So I'm gonna try to fit a little blanket back here, there. And I'm gonna walk my feet toward each other. I've got my heels up on this blanket, my feet are toward each other, and I'm gonna take my strap and bring it around my body so that the strap is going across the back of my pelvis. It's coming across the back of the pelvis, and there's the 2 ends to the strap. Feet are together, knees go wide apart. I'm gonna reach my arms through and turn my hands so that when I grab my strap, I'm grabbing it from reaching under the strap. This is a version of Malasana. My hands walk up the strap, my knees are wide apart. I know it's not an easy position. And then I'm going to let go of that. Sit my strap off to the side. I'll come off of my blocks, so I'll stand up, bring my blocks forward, move my blanket that was under my heels, and come to Uttanasana. Either hands on blocks or hands on the ground. And then we're going to inhale, come all the way up. Arms overhead. Exhale, my hands back in front of my heart. Inhale, lift both arms. And exhale, coming all the way down and taking downward facing dog if that's okay for your legs. Or you could just stand with the hands at the wall and take both legs straight. So we're opening the backs of the knees back up again. And then we're going to exhale, take child's pose. May I identify and touch the seeds of joy and happiness within myself. May I identify and touch the seeds of joy and happiness within myself. All right, and then walk yourself back up. And we're going to take Pavrita Janushasana. So revolved Janushasana. So I'm going to take a blanket and fold it into more of a square. And I'm going to sit on probably more like the point of that square. And let's take your right leg, I'll be a mirror, the right leg out and the left knee out obliquely if your pelvis lets you. Again, if the knee is lifted up, or give it enough space, and you could put either a bolster, or if you need support for that side. So give that leg, the bent knee side, if you have, if you're okay with that, some support. Otherwise, we'll go ahead and take your right hand to the inside of the straight leg. Begin to walk it out. So now I want the sit bone of the bent knee to feel like it can lift. If I feel like it needs some help lifting up, then I might take another little, inch or two of a blanket and just put it under that outer hip thigh. So that as I come over, it might give me the support so that your left outer hip, the left sit bone is going to be able to lift. And then when you bring your left arm up and over like side angle, there'll be a little more spaciousness there. And you won't feel like the left sit bone is locked to the ground. So some of you might be more upright. Some of you might not want to use the arm at all. Some of you might be coming over farther. Some of you might find your foot. But I'd like all of us to have that left sit bone light. And then we'll inhale, come up. Hand under the knee, pick it up. Second side. So straighten your left leg, bend your right knee out to the side, or give it enough space and some support with a bolster or blankets or blocks. If I have a little lift under that one sit bone, I'm going to make a little lift under this other one so I can be a little more balanced. And then let's walk the left hand out along the straight leg. And you might just pause there. Some of you will go ahead and take the right arm and bring it up. Reaching all the way out so you feel that right sit bone become a little more light and lifted, like the biscuit in the oven. It just gets a little more lift. And then we're going to inhale, come up. Support that leg, and let's take both legs straight. Both legs straight. So I'll move that little extra support. Let's take your strap again and bring it around both of your feet. You might wrap it around your wrist and lean back. So rather than Paschimottanasana, where you're all the way forward, we're taking Dandasana, but we're holding onto the feet with the strap and resting back in the hammock of the body. All right. And then I want to take this to one more twist. So we'll get rid of the strap. We'll take Marichyasana. So we'll bend the left knee, right leg straight. Left hand behind, and either holding with the hand at the outer knee, it'll come to the inner elbow, or some of you will be at the outer elbow. Twisting to the left. May I identify and see the source of suffering in myself. And then we'll come back to center. Let's take the other side. Either with the hand, right hand behind, left hand to the outer knee, or in the elbow, or to the outer elbow. And then we're going to come back to center. Great. 2 straight legs. Let's just take the hands and rub the knees, thighs, lower legs. And now I want to take a reclined, supported Vadakanasana. So I'm going to build a little tower. So I'm going to go back to the 2 blocks at the beginning where I had them end to end. I'm going to put those on my mat. And if I have a bolster, I'll go ahead and put a bolster on top of that. And then I'll put another blanket or 2 or 3 on top of that. All right. If I don't have a bolster, then I'm going to want some blankets. And so I'm going to, because I want to build a nice tall stack. So even if I have a bolster, I'll probably put at least 2 or so blankets on top of that bolster, which is on top of my blocks. Right here, I've got 3 blankets on top of my blocks. I'm going to put one more up there because I have it. So you can use pillows and things like that. And then when I lie down, I'm going to be pretty close to this. I want to be close because I'm going to take my feet toward each other, and I'm not going to use my strap here. I'm going to just snug this up. I feel the support of the blankets at the back of my legs, my shins. If I wanted, I could take the strap and just put it around the feet. This might be kind of nice. And just, relax my arms. I don't have to hold tightly, but it is holding my feet together. I can just wrap it around my wrists or forearms and rest my arms here for a little bit. But I'd like my ankles to be higher than my knees, or at least close. That's why we have such a tall tower. So I did end up using my strap, even though I told you I wasn't going to. Resting down into the ground. May I nourish myself with joy and happiness every day. All right, and then I'm gonna take the strap off my feet, roll down to one side, use my arms to push myself up. And then I'm gonna set myself up for Savasana. So for some of you, you'll probably be happy just to have the legs straight out. Sometimes I really love having a little patio to put my legs upon. I don't know if some of you, I think, might like that, where I just unfold the blanket to how it might be stacked on a shelf at the yoga studio. And I usually like to have at least 2, maybe 3 blankets on height for my legs. When I lie over this, if you choose to, I like it to come up and just touch the back of the sit bones. So making yourself comfortable. May I nourish myself with joy and happiness every day. May I be fresh, solid, and free. Allowing your breath to deepen. And gently begin to awaken your body to movement. And making a mindful transition over to one side. Using the support of your arms to come back up to sitting. Joining your hands in front of your heart. May all beings be free from pain and suffering. May all beings find joy. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your practice.